Good morning. It's Wednesday, November 19th. Great to have you here. I could read a script, but why? We know what happened. Keystone. I mean, Keystone goes down by one vote. With that, most certainly, if Mary Landrieu, the woman I've been predicting is going to win by 6.5 votes for years now, if she had any chance of doing that, I think that pretty much got wiped away last night.
Well, she's, you know, it was a Hail Mary, and it didn't. Nobody caught it. So and the fact is, she was already in a very tough race. Her opponent's polls show him up by 16 points, and another poll showed him up by about 20.
Right.
But so she's going to have a very hard time. The state has really turned against the president, and that's what she's dealing with.
So, Robert, explain to me, if you will. We'll show people this a little bit later, but explain to me why the Democrats wouldn't help Mary Landrieu out when you have the State Department in its own environmental assessment said two things. One, Keystone would not increase greenhouse gases, and two, the alternate methods of moving the oil actually would create more greenhouse gases. Right. I'm trying to figure out why they wouldn't go, okay, environmentalists, we understand you want to scalp, but this is the wrong scalp. We're going to try to save a Democratic senator in Louisiana.
Well, I would split the two issues. I think that there's...
You really can't.
But you really can, because I don't think, quite frankly...
If you're Mary Landrieu, if I were Mary Landrieu, I would. You can't split those two. I'd say, wait a second, you're going to appease billionaire extremists.
Let me try to explain it.
Well,
if you don't,
I'm just telling you what Mary's.
Well, let me go back to your first, I think, question point, which is, I don't think the Keystone Pipeline was going to. It's a great issue in Louisiana. There aren't 20% of people that are going to change their vote because Keystone Pipeline passes the U.S. Senate.
It's time to take a look at the morning papers, and Thomas Roberts is with us in New York. We start, Thomas, in Houston with the Houston Chronicle. A Texas judge has denied Governor Rick Perry's request to have the criminal indictment against him thrown out due to a paperwork technicality. Perry's lawyers said Special Prosecutor Michael McCrum's oath of office was not properly signed. Perry was indicted in August on accusations that he abused his power. With us now, the outgoing chairman of the Select Committee on Intelligence, Republican representative from Michigan, Congressman Mike Rogers. Mike, a lot to talk about, but ISIS. One day I read a report that ISIS is expanding. The next I read reports that we're somehow cutting back their war-making potential. Where do we stand?
Well, it's probably a little of both. So what we've saw...
How can it be a little of both, politician? You've only got a couple more weeks talking this way.
Right. Well, actually, it can be both. So their ability to produce and maintain weapons caches and other things has been diminished a little bit. However, the ideology is expanding. So you have, we think, about 21 al-Qaeda affiliates that we track. About half of them have expressed support, both logistical and moral support, to ISIS in their actions. And that means that they have an opportunity for logistics sharing and other things that becomes really important.
Let me ask you about the money-making machine. My biggest concern is all the oil money from Turkey and other people. They accumulate enough money where they can buy a nuclear device. Are we breaking up their ability to make money? And if not, why don't we bomb the pipelines that they now control?
Well, there is, you asked some very good questions. We have asked ourselves.
We're here with us now from Capitol Hill, House Majority Whip, Republican representative from Louisiana, Congressman Steve Scalise.
Sorry to have you walk into a buzzsaw here, but we just showed a picture of the Republican Party's chairman on Capitol Hill, and there weren't any women. And we're just wondering, obviously, the freshman shot, you had much more diversity, many more women, but we were just wondering why there weren't women actually running committees in the Republican Party. It does not look like a very diverse group there.
Well, as part of leadership, we have a lot of women in our leadership team. I was just with Kathy McMorris Rogers, our conference chairman, last night. And obviously, we have a number of other women that are very talented as part of our conference leadership. We also, as well as chairman and other leaders of the committees, but if you look at this new class especially, such a great new diverse group of members with great backgrounds too.